Hi, everybody. It's meteorologist Joe Cioffi. Weather in 5 days and 5 minutes, and we are doing it a little different today as we are taking you into the evening hours of Friday, and then we'll take you through the weekend and into the start of next week. First off, we do have radars that are getting a bit on the busy side, and before we show you the radar, just want to show you what's happening here on the satellite loop this evening. Take a look across parts of over Delaware and into southern New Jersey. You're seeing these clouds that are blowing up. Those are thunderstorms that are developing and are producing heavy rains. These are going to be more rain producers than they will be wind and hail producers, as they are developing inside this tropical air mass that we are sitting in. No doubt about it. Today is very uncomfortable, even though temperatures technically are a little lower than yesterday when we saw readings up around or just over 90, but the dew points are really high, so the humidity is up there. We're seeing the development today in areas a bit different than yesterday. Yesterday, the concentration was over Virginia and parts of Maryland and also into eastern Maryland, but there were clusters, but there were holes in it. Today, we're seeing a little bit of development here and in Delaware, again in New Jersey. Also seeing some development in parts of south central PA with some scattered storms. And it looks like the bulk of the activity during this afternoon is actually in western Pennsylvania. So through this evening, there will be the possibility that you could see some clusters of thunderstorms developing and peaking out. I think for the coastal areas, though, the chances for thunderstorms are few. Much of what you're seeing is moving to the north. So unless something develops virtually right on top of a coastal area, I think those areas are probably going to see very little in the way of activity. A quick run through of radars. First, we'll start with the radar out of Upton in central Long Island, and it's picking up on those thunderstorms in southern New Jersey. Don't have any warnings up as of 3:48 Eastern time. The Fort Dix radar, which gives a view a little further south and west. You can see the area in Jersey, but also that one in Delaware. It looks like that may have passed its peak intensity. And then you've got these little clusters out along and west of I-81 out in Pennsylvania, and also a few cells running right on I-81 just to the east of Harrisburg and points northward. And further west, as we take a look out in central and western PA, you can see those storms in western PA. They're all moving pretty much to the north. They will pass their peak after about 7 or 8 o'clock and die out. And the area that was busy yesterday, that area is very quiet. Now, let's shift to Saturday. The Storm Prediction Center has a large part of the area at a marginal risk for severe weather from Virginia through New England, and they now have added a slight risk for southern New Hampshire and Maine. This is a cold front that's going to be coming through. It is going to trigger off some strong storms, and on the wide satellite view, that front is getting ready as it moves through the western Great Lakes and begins to push eastward. It's got a ways to go before it gets here, but it will get here. This is the HRRR model for late tomorrow afternoon. I caution anybody who looks at these things, just bear in mind that these short-range models, each one of them has a different idea of how the radar is going to shape up. I think the best approach is that if you're anywhere from northeastern Virginia through south central, southeastern PA, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, the Hudson Valley, Long Island, on up through all of New England, and a good chunk of upstate New York, you are at risk for some thunderstorms, but they will probably come during the latter part of the afternoon and evening. We're not seeing anything of consequence during the first part of the day. It's really after about 2 or 3 o'clock that you start to see these storms really rev up. Now, the front is going to go through. It is also going to get temporarily hung up on Sunday to our south across the Delmarva Peninsula and back through Virginia. You'll see that there's a wave there in western Virginia. The NAM model actually wants to gel up a few showers into southern PA and southern New Jersey. I can't rule it out. I think we're going to see humidity levels drop, and those lower humidity levels will probably make it to about New York City and northern New Jersey and northeastern Pennsylvania. So from here north and east, I'm thinking the weather should be okay with no worse than a mix of southern sun and clouds. But if you're in southern New Jersey and down into southern Pennsylvania, into Maryland and Virginia, this whole area, you may be subject to some showers or a thunderstorm around midday or early afternoon. And then after that, weather conditions are going to improve because the wave is going to move by and the humidity is going to drop nicely in most of these areas for Sunday night and for the first part of next week. As far as temperatures are concerned, for Saturday, it's going to be hot, upper 80s to low 90s. Humidity is going to be very high. Sunday, we'll take it back a notch into the 80s, perhaps lower 80s as you go north and east of New York City, middle to upper 80s as you go south and west toward Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington. And Monday and into Tuesday, I'm thinking highs in all areas should be no worse than the low to mid 80s. All right, so that sets you up for Friday and the weekend and also takes you through this evening. Thanks for being here today on Weather in 5, and we will update everything at some point during the day on Saturday.